let's move on to something more positive, hopefully, and that is our discussion on this bull run, which uh, till yesterday was pumping at its highest par, but today we got a little pullback, and I think it is a healthy pullback for me. Personally, I believe it is a good pullback, and a lot of people will get some time and put their money into some good projects, hopefully. Not financial advice, but some people do that. I am some people. So, but the question here is that I have for you, that we have put up for discussion, is how long will this bull run last, and what does history suggest? So, before we get on to you, I'll just put some numbers in. So, late November 2013, Bitcoin crossed 100,000. So not 100,000, but $1,000. Late November 2013. Okay. Early December 2017 was the first high, all-time high of $19,188. So November 13, December 17. Next is early November 21, the last all-time high of the 67K of the last bull run. So the numbers that I want to put some light on are November 2013, December 2017, and November 2021. All three bull runs that we've seen before are the peaks have been 4 years apart, exactly 4 years apart, not even 3.5 years or 4.5 years, nearly just a matter of days, but 4 years apart. And right now, we are sitting in November 2024 and we have hit $99,645. So, according to this theory, shouldn't we be hitting a peak next year, same time, not right now? What do you think?
All right, so let's get into this, dive into this with an open mind, right? So here's my take on the bull run and how long it might last. But it's not financial advice, but I've been looking at patterns and theories and the general sentiment out there. So I feel historically Bitcoin's bull runs have followed a pretty predictable pattern, especially around the halving cycles. If we talk about uh, that, I have gotten a few numbers for you as well. So if we go back in 2016 to 17, so about 1.5 years from the start of the run to the peak, the bull run lasted, right? And from 2020 to 2021, again about 1.5 years, peaking roughly 6 to 12 months after the halving. So if we apply that timeline to the current cycle, which if we're talking about the cycle that started in early 2023, that's when we started to go the look at the upward trend. We might be looking at the peak somewhere between late 2024 and early 2025, because the halving was in April this year, I guess. And we're talking about 6 to 12 months cycles right there. So, but I feel December 2024 or even early 2025 is a fair estimate for when we'll see the peak. But I feel here's the twist. I won't be surprised if the timeline is a bit shorter this time, or, because there is actually so much momentum and the market might just, front run the halving expectations. So I feel this bull run is actually very different as well, because there have been bullish sentiments with the institutional involvement, and like you mentioned, the spot Bitcoin and the Ethereum ETFs, the global acceptance and pro crypto US administration, if we talk about. So let's not, just uh, be there and look for Bitcoin to go up and up and up. There will be corrections like today. Today is a day where we saw some corrections, right? And markets don't just go up in a straight line. And I feel, honestly, if we're, I feel we're overdue for one right now. And if I had to guess, I really don't know. I read a comment somewhere that I don't think so if we can beep this. So I would rather not say that comment. So
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, go on. Are you going to say that comment?
no, I'll add it. I'll add it in the end. That's fine.
Okay. Okay. So I think, yeah, given the 4-year cycles that we're used to, and given the implications of the halving and the liquidity flow into the market and whatnot, I think going till quarter 3 of 2025 will be a race too long for us. I don't think we'll be able to survive till that point. If we do, I'll be the happiest person in the world, definitely, because if we're surviving and peaking in quarter 3 of 2025, I think we are seeing a very strong Bitcoin, maybe around 150K. I'm not sure. Again, not financial advice at all. We're just two guys speaking what is on our mind. But I think February 2025, maybe February, March 2025. But as I brought the numbers out, November, December, November, the last three bull runs have shown that it is usually late November to early December when we peak. So nothing can be said here, but I hope we keep this momentum going given that institutional adoption is there and there is a lot more global reach that cryptocurrency has now. But even with that, one point that is really on the top of my mind is how much more liquidity can we get into the market. So we peaked at 3.4 trillion market cap a few days ago. Does the industry have it in itself? Not in itself, but do the people have enough conviction on this asset class to bring it to something like 5 trillion? Do we? Or maybe even 4.5 trillion for that matter. Because if we do, then Bitcoin might flip Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, and Alphabet, the four uh, companies that are above it and below gold. If Bitcoin becomes the second largest asset class by market cap, that would be absolutely huge, in my opinion.
I mean, I read somewhere that BlackRock bought another whole lot of Bitcoin today. So, I mean, the institutional and corporate adoption is there. Pensions are buying in, corporations are adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets. MicroStrategy, for that matter, is accumulating, like, you know, it's just the tip of an iceberg. So, uh, I feel Sailor is continuing to buy Bitcoin in at an average, price of what, 90K this cycle. And I feel if someone as savvy as Sailor is doubling down at those prices, I mean, he must be seeing something that the rest of us are missing. And let me just quickly switch on. Let me quickly switch on my bullish dude inside me, and talk some factors right here. Because, all right, so here's the thing. If Bitcoin could go from 3K to 69K during some of the most hostile conditions in history, then what's stopping it now, right? Like, seriously, think about it. Back then, we had an anti Bitcoin administration in the US throwing roadblocks everywhere. We had a China mining ban that tanked the hash rate and, scared half the market. There was not a single spot ETF inside, which meant no institutional vehicle for large scale investment. And despite all of that, Bitcoin still managed to put a 23x, climbing to 69K, right? And people were still disappointed with that. So I feel this bull run is actually very different because, like I mentioned, the pro Bitcoin administration with institutions and corporate adoption and MicroStrategy buying in Bitcoin like it's the last day of their lives. The nation state involvement, countries are also using Bitcoin like they're mining it with the government resources. This isn't just retail speculation we're talking about. This is foundational adoption and spot ETFs for Ethereum, Bitcoin, maybe Solana in the future and whatnot. See, so I feel the numbers don't lie. And right now, Bitcoin is only what, 6x from its cycle lows compared to the 23x of the last bull run. Yeah. So honestly, I don't think we're done here, with all these things. I'm not saying we'll see another 23x, but the math suggests there, there's way more room to run, So I feel also, I feel this isn't just another pump and dump retail cycle. I feel we are transitioning into Bitcoin's era of mainstream acceptance because, as you know, Bitcoin reserve it will be treated as a reserve asset, a hedge, and also a cornerstone of financing systems. And I think anyone betting against Bitcoin right now is seriously underestimating the long-term shift we are witnessing. So yeah, I feel 100K Bitcoin is practically a given, and anything more is like the sky is the limit. That's what I have to say about that. Those are my 14 cents on the topics.
So I think on this bullish note, we can end this week's RK Pro Talk show, and we'll meet everyone next week, and hopefully we'll meet with a 105K Bitcoin, not even 100K. I'll go for 105K. And yeah, thank you everyone for listening in.